Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today I wanted to share with you my reading goals for 2020. I've got a couple of goals, a lot of them surrounding getting the books that I own or the books on my TBR either physically on Audible or on Kindle down to a more manageable level because I do have quite a few in all three formats. And then the others are just kind of some fun goals as well. So for my Audible books, I ended off 2019 with 62 unread Audible books. So I'd like to get that down by at least 25. I'm sure I'll be purchasing more throughout the year, especially because I do have my subscription going still, so I do have credits and I get credits, 1 credit a month, and I typically like to purchase when they have sales as well. And also whenever I get Kindle books, if the Audible edition or narration is at a good price, I typically add that on as well. So I know that the number will go up, but I'd at least like to get it down from the 62 I had at the end of 2019 by 25. And then it's the same goal for the books that I already own on my Kindle. I ended off 2019 with 75 unread books, and I'd like to get that down by 25 as well. I typically only purchase Kindle books when they're on sale, so usually between $3.99 or $5.99 and lower. So I don't buy Kindle books that often, but there are times when I'll go through and just like binge buy a whole bunch of books. So I'd like to get that down quite a bit. I also, over the three formats, I own a lot of duplicates. Like I said, if a Kindle book has an Audible narration that's an additional like $1.99 or something, which I think a lot of them are, I'll typically add those on. So for a lot of these books, I'll be able to knock out two formats with one book. And then my physical TBR, I ended off 2019 with 155 unread books, and I'd like to get that down by at least 50. My Goodreads goal this year is set to 100. So at least half of those books that I read this year, I would like to be from one of the formats that I own them in. The next goal I have is a carryover from 2019, and that is to finish some of the series I've started. I have 12 in specific that I'm working on, so I'd like to finish at least 6 of the 12. Last year I only finished 2.5. So I definitely like to make a lot more progress in those series, especially since they're series that I pretty much own all the books for and they're complete series, so it's not like it's brand new series that I'm starting. And then another kind of fun one that I know Books and Lala did, I don't know if she was working on it last year, but I know for 2018 she was she had a world scratch map, and she was, each country she visited in a book, she would scratch that off. So I'd like to visit at least 30 different countries in books this year. I am using a scratch map that my friend bought for me for Christmas in 2018, and I was originally going to use it for the countries we visited together, but decided it would probably be a bit more fun if I could do this with books. That way I would see a lot more progress made with it. So I do have Washington State and Ireland already scratched out, so I'll have to find books relatively soon in the year that are set in Washington and Ireland. But I'd like to at least visit 28 more countries there, or states or provinces, things like that. 30 different places, basically. I'm also participating in 3 year-long reading challenges. One is the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. So there are 40 regular questions or challenge prompts for that, and then 10 advanced. I don't typically pick books to fit the prompts, but if whatever I'm reading and finish ends up fitting a prompt, it goes in there. At the end of the year, sometimes I try and pick books that will finish out the rest of the prompts, but last year for 2019, I only finished one of the advanced and 36 out of 40 of the regular. And then the other 2 year-long reading challenges are both from Facebook book club groups. So the first is the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Flourish and Blocks group. And for this year, it's a wizarding school tour. So the challenge is to visit all 8 of the different wizarding schools around the world. And in order to visit each school, you have to read all 7 prompts that fall under it. So that would be a total of 56 reading prompts. I hope to visit all 8, but we'll see how far I get. For that one, I'm going to focus more heavily on picking books that fit those prompts versus just whatever I read, filling it in. And then the other Facebook group is the Creating & Co book club, which this year we're doing a challenge with 30 different readathon prompts under it, all slightly different, but pretty like general and broad so that you can really pick up anything to fit. So we'll see how I do with those 3, and I will leave the 2 Facebook groups linked down below. The Creating & Co one is always in my where to find me section in my description box, but I'll add a second link as well as the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners link. And then the last 3 challenges or goals I guess I have for myself are to do some rereads. So typically I don't reread books that often because I have so many unread books that I really like to work on getting those read. But this year I really want to reread the whole Lord of the Rings series. I've already read The Hobbit with my friend Rainy over at Rainy Day Reads, and there are 2 YouTubers, I can never remember one of their names, but I think it's Krista over at Books and Jams, and then Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. They are hosting a read-along, so for the whole month of January, they're taking to read The Hobbit, and then for 2-month sections, so February and March is The Return of the King, April and May is The Two Towers, and June and July is The Return of the King. So I will probably not go along with that read along just because they don't take me that long to read, even though the books are a little dense, and J.R.R. Tolkien is known to be very descriptive in his writing. Because these are rereads for me, they go pretty quickly. I'll leave the information for those down below as well. And then I'd also like to reread Harry Potter. I reread it in 2018, I think, all through Audible, and really want this reread to be with the physical books again. And then by the time I'm ready for another reread, I think all of the illustrated books should be published at that point, and I'd like to do another reread with those. So that's one of my goals. And then this is also a reread I need to do in order to finish out a series, but 4 of the books are in one bound copy and the other is not. Let's see. I don't have them close by. Yes, I do. So 10 years ago now, I read The Once and Future King for my AP English class, and this has I think The Once and Future King as the whole like series name, but it's got 4 different books in it, and then the Book of Merlin is the last one that was published posthumously. So I would like to reread all of the books in The Once and Future King, so that way I can finish it out with the Book of Merlin. So that'll be interesting since it's been a good 10 years, 11 years, a long time since I've read that. So those are all of my goals for 2020, just with books and reading. And I would really love to know if you have any similar goals or what goals you have set for yourself for this year. If we have any that line up, or if you have just some completely different ones. I think it's always great to hear what people have planned for the start of the year and through the year. So please do let me know down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye.